But one of the people that I wanted to talk to more than anyone else, even though I don't normally do interviews in this hour, is our Congressman Dan Meuser. He has seen it all. He's been front and center. I was watching him at the Netanyahu speech, and he's front and center for us, and he is with us now. Dan Meuser, how are you?
I'm doing great, Bob. Permission to board the ship of sanity and depart the swamp of stupidity.
Yes. Permission granted. Well, Congressman Meuser, tell me about this. Give me your sense and what you were hearing as they pushed Joe Biden off the stage.
Well, that's exactly what happened. It was a drip, drip, drip until it all happened all at once. Nancy Pelosi and the other power brokers, Pelosi, Soros, Obama, Eric Holder, and then the others had to follow at that point. You know, they talk about Biden went up there and said he passed the torch. I mean, it was literally taken from him.
Yes.
The hard way.
It was one of the phoniest things I ever saw last night. I was outraged.
Yeah. You know, and the thing is, look, if he, even in spite of the debate, if he would have been still up in the polls by 4 or 5 or 6, he would not have been forced out. They would have continued the con. They would have continued the cover-up. Kamala would have continued to say how smart and bright and wonderful and sharp and hardworking he is. You know, and meanwhile, of course, his mental decline was evident long before the debate for anyone that was willing to see it and admit it. And, you know, look, for all I know, I don't have this assured, but we did hear that, you know, the hardball came down to on Sunday that they were going to invoke the 25th Amendment on him. So that was that. He had to go. Look, they did their best to get President Trump off the ballot, right, by banning him from certain states, and they took it to court, and they failed. They tried to convict him and jail him. That failed. They tried to take all his money. They took a good amount. And then an assassin tried to take him out. I'm not saying that was you know, a Democrat orchestrated attempt, not by any means. But they failed in all of that, and then they anointed someone that they think has a better chance of winning. Look, they love saying we are undermining democracy. Okay, is there any undermining democracy than having no majority at all, no vote to anoint your candidate?
And Congressman Meuser goes farther than that. Yeah. Kamala Harris has never gotten a primary vote ever for president of the United States.
Yeah. They're all for democracy until it gets in the way of winning. Yeah. Then it's autocracy.
Crazy stuff. I mean, I had said since last year, 70% chance that Biden steps aside. I actually think the next step, once this little honeymoon's over and the convention's over, the next step is to make her the president and have Biden resign the presidency. That's what I see coming.
Okay, you may be right. You may be right, and frankly, I prefer, for the sake of our nation, if that's what's necessary. But I really don't trust Kamala Harris even over a mentally declined.
She's horrendous.
Joe Biden. I mean, I don't know if you saw what Dave McCormick put together, and I meant to send it to you this morning.
Dave is coming on today, and we're going to play that commercial. It is outstanding.
It's like her top 10. It's unbelievable. The most liberal member of the Senate for the filibuster, for Green New Deal, banning fracking. Pennsylvanians will love that. Decriminalizing illegals, abolish ICE, defund the police. I mean, this is all on record. She said all this. So, murderers can vote. The list just goes on.
Well, she also proved herself by not presiding over the Senate yesterday when Netanyahu spoke. And that's the next subject I want to talk with you about, sure. Congressman Meuser. I thought it was such an incredibly strong, straightforward, truthful speech, painful for the left to listen to.
Yeah. Well, it was very strong. It was very sincere. It certainly came from the heart. The man is strong, and he's a patriot, and he loves his country. and he also loves the alliance with the United States. All of that came through. The idea that Vice President Kamala Harris did not attend, that was her first joint session that she didn't attend since being the vice president, shows a lot. Shows, first of all, encouragement to the Hamas. How did Netanyahu put it? The useful idiots.
Yep.
Okay, it shows that she's not with Israel. It shows just a complete misunderstanding of leadership. You know, you have a personal issue with something. You know what? That doesn't matter when you're in leadership. You're now a leader. You need to set a tone of tolerance, of listening, of appreciation for allies, and to certainly hear people out, but also to understand the difference between an ally and an enemy and terrorists. I mean, this is the difference between democracy in the Middle East versus terrorism. Now, she may be unhappy with how some of the things how they're carrying out their war against those who want to kill them, meaning Hamas and Hezbollah and Iran. But to censor and not show up, it was a disgrace.
Well, Congressman Dan Meuser, the thing that is, again, to be a leftist means you have no self-awareness and no sense of irony. If the Biden administration, Kamala Harris, had not delayed Israel, slow-walking weapon systems, telling them to stop, insisting on ceasefires, and all of that, this war would be over. They've delayed it to this point.
It wouldn't have even started, Bob.
Well, that's another story.
And you know what?
Yeah.
Putin wouldn't have invaded the Ukraine if we actually dealt from strength rather than appeasement, if we didn't have an unbelievably debilitated chain of command. And that's, Biden owns that. But let's face it, Kamala Harris was far from a competent or effective vice president. It was virtually laughable. Even the late night shows could not withstand their laughter of many of her comments and thoughts.
Well, they were leaking that she was going to get dropped from the ticket last year.
Yeah, right, exactly. I mean, she's the border czar. That should tell you, that should say it all. And now what's the media saying? Oh, she really wasn't the border czar. Well, but we have a clip of Biden saying this won't be her only job. This is going to be her priority to be in charge of securing our border. I don't know how much more clear you could be than that, but the media is going to do its best to say, no, that really don't believe what you see or hear. Believe what we're telling you.
It's an incredible thing. Congressman Meuser, as you see this heading into the Democrat convention and with this ridiculous honeymoon for Kamala Harris, how do you see the race developing?
Well, I think yesterday, seeing the riots that I saw up close here in Washington, D.C., and not a word from the White House. In fact, encouragement, again, by Kamala, the vice president not showing up for Netanyahu, sent a message that she's not supportive of Israel. So that encourages what happened, the desecration of statues. Just as when Kamala Harris was vice president and set up a bailout fund me account for those who were destroying our streets in Philadelphia and Minnesota. That sent encouragement. That's where she doesn't understand. They don't understand the leadership and the tone and the meaning that goes with it. And truly, how to unify. I mean, these people are nothing but divisive. That's all they got. They want to divide America and hope that they've got more on their side than they have on their side. And Trump, at this point, look, he throws out his garbs, his jabs. There's no question. But he's talking about unity. He doesn't just want to unite the party. How many times did Biden say that in his speech last night?
Only the party, though. He only wanted to unite the party. He didn't talk about the country.
No, he did not. He did not. And that is what Trump's talking about. He's talking about the red. He's talking about the blue. He's primarily talking about the red, white, and blue. That sounds cliche, but that's the truth. That's what we need to do. We need to have a policy debate, not personal attacks. and let's go. Let's see them debate and stand up for the policies and the results of their policies over the last 4 years. They're all awful, from national security to our border to their energy policy, which is gas backwards, to massive inflation and making things unaffordable. And guess what their plan is? More of the same.
Yeah.
And Kamala, the most liberal, more liberal than Bernie Sanders, is seeking the most important job in America, if not the world. And if we give it to her, man, God help us.
Congressman Meuser, final question for you. Body shop guy, and I don't usually notice the text while I'm doing an interview, but I did this one. The Russian and Chinese bombers probing us in the Alaskan airspace. This is clearly showing that they want to probe whether we are leaderless and rudderless. We're in a dangerous place, are we not?
We are. We very much are. Look, I'm never going to count or minimize the strength and power of the United States and my patriotism. So we're still in the leadership superpower role. But my goodness, when we have no real chain of command, no leadership, a laughing stock such as Kamala Harris as the potential, next 4 years, they're looking to see what they can get away with, where they can advance, and it seems right now it's any way they want. And appeasement, as you well know, never works. And that's what the strategy has seemed to be. And frankly, I know this. I have a front row seat for it in classified meetings and unclassified meetings. So we need strength. We need to lead with strength. Donald Trump is a strong man, strong person, strong leader, has the experience now, and certainly the patriotism. America first doesn't mean America alone. Just as we say family first, it's okay to say America first. All other countries say it.
Why would it not be? This is the upside-down world they're trying to create, where America first is bad, where Make America Great Again is bad. I'm flustered by it. It's astonishing.
And I was at the rally and I saw President Trump stand up. And I'll tell you what, Bob, everybody went down when he hit the deck. But when he came up and put his fist up and said, you know what, we're going to fight, we're going to keep going, everyone got up with him. That's leadership.
Yes. Well, we appreciate having you on, and you know this. Anytime you've got a message to deliver, I was very proud to see you in that speech. I was yesterday by Netanyahu. I'll tell you, I was overwhelmed, and I think Bibi Netanyahu was, and I think the Israeli people, and I hope Jewish Americans understood that Republicans in particular are full-throated in support of Israel and the Jewish people.
Absolutely. God bless those thoughts. Godspeed. And I'll be heading back to wonderful Commonwealth of Pennsylvania later tonight. So maybe I'll run into you somewhere along the way.
Great. Thank you.